So I just wanted to do a really quick video. I'm going to be squinting the whole time. I decided to try sitting outside. It's really nice out, but really bright. Anyway, so Fullmetal Alchemist, Netflix's... Oh, there, the clouds. Fullmetal Alchemist from Netflix, and Netflix original Fullmetal Alchemist live action film. In short, terrible. Just don't watch it, honestly. It's really bad. But to go into a little bit more detail, do you remember when you were in like middle school, high school, and there were those kids, like maybe one or two, that would run around with like their fist out in front of them, or would just like do like baka hammer, you know, like hitting people on the head like baka, and like just the really cringe-worthy things that they took straight from anime cartoons and tried to translate into the real world. That's basically the entire movie. There were so many moments that are things that just feel ripped straight out of anime and then just thrown into a real scene with terrible actors. So not only is it like just bad acting in general, just really bad acting, like facial expressions that you can't even discern what the emotion is that they're trying to communicate with them, but then on top of that, just terrible anime tropes, like writing and also kind of physical humor, I suppose. Like there's a moment when Winry and Ed are like staring face to face because they're angry at each other over this conversation that they're having, and it's ludicrous. And there are tons of moments like that throughout the entire movie from start to finish. And like just the plot is a mess. I mean, yes, it's basically the story of the show, and for reference, like I've seen a bit of the show. I haven't watched all of it though, but I knew pretty much everything that was happening in the movie. I knew what was going to be happening, but it just felt like a lot of fan service, but really poor fan service, where they introduce just too many characters, and so you never really get to get invested in the characters or know them very well, but the audience is expected to be invested in these characters that they've spent very little time with. Which, like, I guess makes sense as a fan service movie because the fans watching it would know those characters, and so it's kind of like neat to see the live action version of them, unless they bastardize it, which they did. But the problem is that the movie was made and shot as if it was going to be your first time dealing with Fullmetal Alchemist, where they explained like backstory and stuff that for me personally, I think they shouldn't have, because the movie came off as more of a comedy mostly. I don't know, like the tone of it didn't really make sense, because anime can flip tone really easily because it's a cartoon, and so you can have like ridiculous moments in the middle of high action, but it doesn't make sense unless it's done really well with live action. Like you can't go from getting the shit beat out of you to joking about something instantly in with live actors. It doesn't work unless it's campy, and this movie wasn't campy, so it was just kind of this tone. Hey, it felt like it should have been campy. They should have made it campy, but instead it just came off as really bad, and it bastardized all of the moments from the anime that you love and kind of made them shit. So yeah, don't watch it. I mean, if you want to, I guess go ahead, but it's terrible.